Amanda from Amanda Around the Globe, and today I have kind of a sad story for you, but I wanted to tell you about my worst couch surfing experience. Now, I was a little bit skeptical about whether or not I should put this up. On one hand, I didn't want to deter people from traveling or using couch surfing, and on the other hand, I wanted people to know the dangers and possibilities of what can happen on couch surfing and what you can do to avoid those. So I decided to make this video so that you guys can know what kind of precautions you should take on couch surfing. So first I'm going to tell you my experience, and then I'm going to tell you how to avoid having a similar experience. The worst experience I ever had was my fourth time couch surfing. So I had couch surfed at 3 places before this. I had great experiences at all 3 of those places. Fourth person that I was supposed to stay with on couch surfing was a girl in Belgium. She was in Bruges, Belgium, and I had created a public trip where I said I'm going to Bruges on these days and people in Bruges can offer to host me. So this girl offered to host me. Her name was Nastya, and I looked at her profile. She had a good reference, one reference, and it was from a friend, but I decided it would be okay because she was a girl and I trusted girls on couch surfing. Nastya told me that her friend was driving from Amsterdam to Bruges that day that I was going there and that I could catch a ride with him. He was doing a blah blah car, which is a common thing in Europe where people pay for a seat in a car. I rode with her friend. It was this guy, and he was fine. He didn't give me any really bad feelings at the beginning. I was okay with him, and so I rode with him to Bruges. There were 4 other people in the blah blah car. He dropped them off wherever they needed to be dropped off, and then he took me to Bruges and we went to the little city in Bruges. It's very, very cute, and we were walking around, and then I got a message from Nastya saying that she was going to be out of town that day and that she wouldn't be back until tonight, so I should just hang out with her friend that had driven me. His name was Garcia, and that I should hang out with him until she got back into town. So he said that was fine, and he said we could just go back to his house and go to the beach or something. So I told her that was fine, that I would just wait for her, and I went with him back to his house. He lived in Ostende, which is just up the road from Bruges. We went back to his house, we walked to the beach, we talked a little bit. He told me that he used to host people on couch surfing, but that he deleted his profile because he was getting too many requests of people to stay with him. And this kind of triggered a response in my head. I started wondering why he wouldn't just change his profile to not accepting guests, because I just thought that was a little bit weird. And then he also brought up that he had hooked up with someone on couch surfing before, and he asked me if I've ever done that, and I said no, that's not what I use couch surfing for. I use it to make friends. And he said that that's fine, and he thinks that if someone's staying with you and you are both feeling it, then it's okay to hook up or whatever. And he asked me if I felt the same way, and I said, well, I've never been in that situation, and I don't really think of my couch surfing hosts in that way, so I'm not really the right person to ask that, I guess. I don't know, I thought that was a weird thing for him to say. And so after that, the conversation went back to just normal topics, and we went to the beach, and then we went back to his house. And when I got back to his house, I had a message from Nastya saying that she is actually going to be out of town for that night also. And I told him this, and he said it was fine if I just stayed with him. And I was a little bit unsure about it. I didn't have a really bad feeling about it yet, but I started messaging my friend from Amsterdam, telling him what was going on, and he said that he was going to help me look for a place. I don't know, hindsight is 20/20. I know all the things that I should have done that I didn't do. Fast forward a little bit later, he had given me a beer, because we're in Belgium and they're known for their beer, so I had a beer, and he drank probably 2 or 3 beers in the time that I drank 1. and I had not even finished one beer by the time he gave me another one. He asked me if I want to watch a movie, so I said sure, let's watch a movie, and he turned on this movie. He sat next to me on the couch and the movie started playing, and he kind of started getting closer and closer to me as we were watching this movie. He started trying to put his arm around me. He started trying to touch my back. I kind of just kept like pushing him away and moving over, trying to make it as the least awkwardness as possible. But it finally started getting really awkward when he tried to put his hand under my sweater, and I kept pushing him away, and then he tried to put his hand under my tank top, so like on my skin, on my back, and I kind of got up and I pushed him away and I told him to stop. And then I said, you know what, I think I'm just gonna go to bed. I think I'm really tired, I would like to just go to sleep. And he turned off the movie and he said, okay, let's go to sleep. And I said, okay, I'm gonna sleep right here on the couch. And he said, no, you're gonna go up with me to my bed. And I said, no, I'm gonna sleep on the couch. And so it kind of went back and forth. I finally got him to go sleep in his bed and he went to sleep. I stayed up all night and I was really kind of nervous by this point. I wasn't feeling comfortable at all, and my friend Jackie from Amsterdam had told me that he couldn't find any hostels. There was nothing available, like everything was booked for that night. I think it was a Friday or Saturday night. So I was kind of like stuck there. I really didn't have anything else to do unless I tried to get up and go to a different city in the middle of the night. So after he went to bed, I just laid on the couch and stayed awake all night, and around 3 a.m. he came downstairs to use the bathroom, and after he came out of the bathroom, he came and got on the couch with me and tried to do like a spooning thing. He's wearing his underwear, and I jumped up off the couch when he lay down, and I told him to go upstairs, go to his room, and I am not a confrontational person at all. So I was really, really proud of this moment where I really stood up for myself and I said, get up, go in the other room, like this is not going to happen, you need to leave. And finally he got up. It took a little bit of convincing, like it did the first time. He got up and he went upstairs. So the next morning he went to go to work. He told me that I could stay there as long as I wanted, and that he would stay at his family's house that night and I could stay at his apartment still. But I was obviously extremely uncomfortable by this point, and after he left for work, I left his keys in the apartment, I packed up my stuff, and I found a hotel. That's not even the craziest part of the story. Like, that was really bad, it was really uncomfortable, and the craziest part is that after this experience, I contacted Couchsurfing, and I told them what happened, and they looked into it, and they told me that this profile of Nastya was actually not a real profile, and that it was made by this guy, Garcia, that I had stayed with, and that he had already been kicked off Couchsurfing for something that he did to someone else. They didn't tell me what he did, but they said that he did something to someone else and that he had already been kicked off Couchsurfing, and they gave me some safety precautions and tips to use in the future. And they just told me to be careful. They deleted Nastya's profile and they told me to stay away from this guy that I stayed with. So, props to Couchsurfing. Thank you guys. They had a great customer service. They responded to me really quickly and they were really helpful with the situation. I was really happy that they canceled that profile. Yeah, that whole thing was handled really well by them, I think, but I was really mad at myself actually after this experience because I was a little bit angry that I even let myself get into this situation, because I don't think that I'm that naive of a person, but it kind of just proved to me that it only takes one time of letting your guard down and being relaxed and not really thinking things completely through. It just takes one time to get into a bad situation. And the fact that I didn't check this person's references fully, I didn't really look into this person's background at all, these are all big mistakes that I made. And I'm gonna tell you guys what you need to do on Couchsurfing to make sure that you have a good experience. So actually I'm going to make this in another video because I have a lot of tips. That's all I have to say here. Bye!